Hey everybody, today I'm talking about a fairly common situation that happens if people have the free shipping guarantee set up and Etsy thinks that you need to ship something priority because the weight and the size of the package that you have put into your shipping profiles makes Etsy think that you're shipping something larger. Now, let's go into my Etsy shop and I'll show you because it's easier to show you than to try to explain this. But this is not Etsy giving customers priority shipping for free. This is your shipping profiles telling Etsy that what they have purchased needs to go priority because of the weight or the size of the package. And there is a way that you can fix that. So let's go on over to my shop and I'll show you. So this is my shipping profiles. To get to this, you would go to your shop settings and then choose shipping settings, and it'll bring up all the profiles. Now, when you put this is for calculated shipping in the US. I don't know how this works in other countries, but the principles are the same, and you can figure this out on your own if you go in and actually look to see how the weights and package sizes are set up in each individual listing, if you have that information in there. So if you've got the free shipping guarantee and suddenly Etsy is telling you to ship something priority, you might think that the customer chose that and Etsy's giving it to them for free, but no, it's because you have your shipping settings incorrect. And I'll show you how this works. If you go into my free shipping, I ship wafer paper for free because it's light. I know that each thing weighs about 1 ounce. So let's go to edit here and I'll show you how that's set up. I'm also going to show you, this is what I'm talking about. This is like one little package. It weighs about 1 ounce. Now, I know that in the US, the postage rate to send a light package is a flat $4.15 or $4.85, whatever it is. It's one price until it gets to 4 ounces. Then at 5 ounces, it starts to increase. So what I do when I set up my free shipping, and see, I don't ship to other countries, I just ship here. So I have priority mail express, and first class setup, and international because I do ship to Canada. But this, I have the shipping settings set so that people can upgrade if they want to. So that shows up as an upgrade if they choose that. And a lot of people do. But if they don't, I have this set up so that nothing is going to go higher than first class for the free shipping. Okay. So I've got free domestic shipping checked off here. And I save the profile. This is going to affect all these listings that it says, but then you have to go into each individual listing in order to put in the weight and the size of the package. So let's do that next. This is one of the listings that goes for free. It's wafer paper. It's a package of butterflies. It's the same size that I just showed you. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, this is where you put in the information for the calculated shipping. So here I'm saving that shipping profile that I just showed you. And then at the bottom of this, it's going to say how much does it weigh? How big is it? Now, I don't know why I put in 2 by 2. I should put in 1 by 1, but I put in 1 ounce. When you put this in a package, it does not weigh 1 ounce. It weighs 4 ounces or a little less until I put in 5 of these, and then it weighs 5 ounces. Okay. So even though the package itself with the butterflies in it weighs a little under 4 ounces, or I think it's like 2.5 until I start putting more butterflies into it. Even though it weighs 5 or 4 or 3 or whatever it is, I put in 1 because I know that by the time it gets to 5 items in the package, then it's going to go up 1 ounce and be accurate. But up until 4 ounces, the price is the same regardless of whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 ounces. So I can put 4 of those in a package and it works out. Okay. You're going to have to figure this out for your own stuff. But if you sell things that on their own weigh around 1 ounce, just do it this way and it will work. Okay. You're never going to get charged, or you're never going to have a customer think they're getting priority shipping if they're not. Now, for the package size, this is another part that Etsy looks at when they are doing the priority versus free first class, and they're trying to determine how big the package is going to be. So I put in a smaller package. There is no package that's 2 by 2 by 2. My packages are 6 inches by 4 inches by 2 inches. But I put this in here because Etsy adds this up. When you have multiples, Etsy is just adding up the package length and height and width, and they're trying to figure out how big is the package that these things are going to go in. So just put in a small, I could put in 1 by 1 by 1, same thing. I usually do this. And what this does is it kind of takes this out of the equation. You don't really need to tell Etsy what size the package is unless it's an oversized package, because the oversized packages in the US go at a higher rate. So if this is just going in a normal package, normal envelope, just put in 1 by 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 by whatever. because then when Etsy adds up multiple items in an order, it's not going to get into oversized package territory. And this has nothing to do with the actual box size that you put in when you actually buy the label. This has nothing to do with this. This is only to figure out, are you sending this in an oversized package? For calculated shipping, that's part of the equation. So this is really just for the calculated shipping rate. It's to figure out the shipping rate. But once you buy the label, that's a separate process. So you put in you put in the accurate information over there to buy the label. But for here, this is just for calculated shipping. This doesn't have anything to do with what you're shipping in. This is just for Etsy's estimations, okay? So I put in the item weight as 1, even though in the box it's going to be more than that. But then by the time it adds up multiple listings and multiple items, if people buy 6 of them, if I put in 6 ounces here, then if people buy 6 of them, it's going to be 36 ounces, which is it's like way over the priority rate. So when Etsy puts that into its system, it's going to say this order has to go priority because of the weight. And we're going to give the customer priority, or we're going to say that that's how it's shipped, because that's how much the shop owner has told us this thing weighs. So just put in a light weight. Just put in the actual weight of the item. Okay. This really has nothing to do, well, it has something to do with the weight that they're going to charge for the postage. You have to be careful with that. And I actually will go into my silicone molds because I don't have free shipping on that. But just figure out this is going to take time. You're going to have to go to the post office, whatever country you're in, go to the postal services site and see what are the weights. Where does it start going up? Is it more expensive over 5 ounces or 6 ounces or whatever it is? And you're going to have to figure out how to kind of manipulate this part of it in order to get the customer to not be told they're going to be shipped priority. The other thing is that you can put in your policies that regardless of what Etsy says, you're going to ship it first class if that's the correct option. And people might not like that, but it's easier to do it here so that you don't have to go to that trouble. Okay. And then you don't have to argue with people. But just figure it out so that Etsy isn't going to overcharge. But when Etsy gets to that point where they are saying, this has to go priority, it's not because of them giving free shipping to somebody. It's because you have put it in this as too high a weight. Okay. Let's look at my molds real quick, because this is a different shipping profile and I don't have this set up for free shipping, but it's the same kind of thing. It's all, I have all the options. I don't have free domestic shipping set up, and that's the only difference. Back in my shop listing, this is a listing for one of the silicone molds, and the calculated shipping works a little different. See, I've chosen the molds profile, which does not have free shipping. You just saw that. Over here, I've put in 1/2 ounce, okay? And it's the same thing, 1 by 1 by 1. When people buy more than one thing, it's going to add it up to be about 1/2 ounce difference. And I could have 1 ounce, I could have 2 ounce, just put in the actual weight of the product. And I don't have a charge. You can put in a shipping profile that's not calculated shipping, and it has like a flat fee that you decide. And then it gives you a box that says in each individual item, okay, like additional item, each additional item costs this much. And that's more complicated because you have to figure out how much does that thing weigh? How much is it going to increase the weight of the package? And then what is the cost of that with your postal service? So that's a little bit more tricky, and you can do that if you want to. I think that I used to have profiles like that, but I just went to calculated shipping because it's easier. I have this set to the counter rates, not the commercial rates. And I do have another video on that on my other channel, which I will link to at the end of this. But yeah, so I have 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. So if somebody comes along and buys 10 silicone molds, this is not going to add up to be an oversized package. This is not going to increase the weight that much. It's going to be 5 ounces, which is probably right by the time I get, this is a small mold. So by the time I get 5 of them into one of these boxes, or 10 of them, it's going to be about 5 ounces. So just figure that out. But this is where you're making the mistake. If Etsy is showing the customer that they get free priority, and wait, I'll find the screenshot because this was a question from someone in the group. All right, this was the question. She said that when people were buying this thing, see, one of them cost $4.15, 2 of them cost $4.98. But when you get to 3, she had the set at 6 ounces each. So that would be 18 ounces, which immediately goes to priority mail. And she said when people were buying multiples, they were being given free priority shipping. But that's because the weight in here was set to 6 ounces. So if I set this to 6 ounces and people buy 4 of them, that's 24 ounces because Etsy's just adding it up. And that is priority shipping. It has to go priority because it's over 16 ounces. I know that this is a little complicated. It really is the kind of thing you have to sit down and figure out on your own for yourself. If there is a way to use calculated shipping, just do it that way that I've shown you. Otherwise, you're going to have to set up shipping profiles that add just a little bit of additional weight to the package and then figure out how much to charge for each additional ounce based on your country's postal service. And it's going to change when they raise rates. You have to go in and change everything. So that's why it's easier just to do it with calculated shipping. But I know that's not an option for everybody. If you can do it that way, I would recommend doing it. And I would recommend setting everything to counter rates. And that's in your shipping settings and your preferences. And I think it's like upgrades and rates or something like that. But go in there. I will link to this video at the end. Watch that, and that'll explain that a little bit further.